Good morning. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an author, an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, and a host of this show, the Take Your Life Back radio show, also being played on video on YouTube channel Take Your Life Back Today show. Former DEA special agent, U.S. opiate epidemic becoming a national security emergency, he writes. The opiate epidemic gripping communities across the United States and causing nearly 116 overdoses per day is becoming a national security emergency. The former director of Drug Enforcement Administration Special Operations Division, Derek Maltz, explains. It's the #1 cause of injury-related deaths in America. So yes, it's a public health emergency, Maltz said. But where it becomes a national security emergency is the connectivity between the drug traffickers and the terrorists that are out there that are trying to destroy our way of life, he said in an interview with a retired Naval Admiral Sandy Winfield, a military and homeland security analyst for CBS News and guest host for the Intelligent Matters podcast. Folks, that connectivity spans continents and requires strong partnership with military law enforcement and intelligence partners around the entire world, Maltz, who retired in 2014, told Winfield. The command and control threats to our country for transitional organized crime are foreign, he said. So you have to have the relationships with foreign international counterparts if you want to be effective in going after these threats throughout the world. The DEA Special Operations Division, which originally included 9 participating agencies, grew over the course of Maltz's tenure to include 30 by 2016. It spanned 3 different countries. Every one of these threats requires an engagement from those agencies. Not just the CIA, the NSA, or the DIA, all the intelligence agencies that are out there collecting intelligence, Maltz said. Folks, CIA Director Gina Haspel recently indicated that her agency would increase its counter-narcotics efforts to combat opiates entering the United States. No foreign challenge has had more direct and devastating impact on American families and communities, she said during her interview. According to the DEA's 2018 National Threat Assessment released last week, illicit fentanyl and other synthetic opiates, primarily sourced from China and Mexico, are now the most lethal category of opiates used in the United States. Listen, I have talked about this, so I want you to listen to the episode on Spreaker, iTunes, or Google Music. It is currently not possible to determine which source, Mexico or China, is greater direct threat as a supplier, the report said, in part because fentanyl sourced from China arrives in quantities that are significantly smaller but of an exceptional high purity. And I talked about that on iPod and Google, iTunes and Google Music and Spreaker. The report said there were indications that Mexican traffickers order fentanyl from China before adulterating it and smuggling it over the U.S. borders, meaning an unknown amount of seized Mexican parcels containing fentanyl are ultimately of Chinese origin. 2016 marked the first year that deaths from synthetic opiates was higher than deaths from illicit drugs that were brought in. In all, my friends, drug poisoning deaths are the highest ever recorded level since 2011, have outnumbered deaths of firearms, motor vehicle crashes, suicide, homicide, according to the DEA. It's unprecedented. We've never had this in the history of our country happen, Maltz said. China is not only sending fentanyl that's made in labs in China at very pure levels to Mexico, they're also sending these powerful precursors that are producing no longer a pound of meth, but hundreds and thousands of pounds of meth, not just one. When Metz says when he was a young agent, if you seized 1 pound of meth, that was a lot, Maltz told Winfield. Now they're seizing 600, 700, 800, 900 pounds of meth at a time. So there is a problem with cocaine. There are problems with meth. There's problems with K2 spice, he said, referring to other kinds of synthetic drugs, sometimes known as synthetic marijuana. Maltz blamed what he called an explosion of addiction in the United States on a dangerous combination. The development of powerful opiates that were subsequently overprescribed, the increased production of synthetic drugs, including fentanyl, and new kinds of customer targeted by dealers and traffickers in vulnerable area communities across this great country of ours. This is a situation, as you know, firsthand, that can happen to any family in America, Maltz said. So every parent, every educator, every school, every college must start educating themselves to help these kids in our future. Winfield lost his 19-year-old son, Jonathan, to fentanyl-infused heroin overdose last September. With his wife, Mary, he has since started an advocacy group called Stop the Addiction Fatality Epidemic, or SAFE, which works to raise awareness about opiate addiction and prevention. Retired Admiral Sandy Winfield is a guest hosting several episodes of Intelligence while Michael Morrell is away on travel. For much more from Sandy Winfield's conversation with Derek Smith, you can listen to the new episode and subscribe to podcasts on iTunes, Google Music, or Spreaker. You can also find me there to Take Your Life Back Today show or the Ralf Friedrichs show. Call me at 844-405-HELP. Together we can help each other take our lives back. A simple smile to a total stranger can go a long way and change their life and even yours. Folks, be good to yourselves, and more importantly, be good to others. May God bless you, and may God bless this great country of America. We need to put an end to this drug-infested country and the world. Protect our young ones.